Welcome to a special edition for Greyhound News for the start of the PGR Regency and the Coral Sussex Cup starting at Hove on Saturday. As you can see, it's not just myself and Michael this week. We've got Chris Oliver, Graham Banks and Matt Newman. We've got the whole team from Greyhound News getting stuck into these competitions starting on Saturday. So thanks for joining us, guys. And look, we'll come to you first, Matt, the boss of the group. Thoughts on the Regency? We'll come to the Sussex Cup after. We'll start with the Regency. Thoughts on the competition? We've got a Mark Wallace handful here, haven't we?
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? 4 of the top 5 in the market. I spoke to Mark this morning. Actually, gave some good quotes. So there'll be something out on the site Thursday evening. I don't know whether this will be going out Friday, but yeah, there'll be some good quotes there. He is understandably keen on Monge's Wild. I mean, he is the market leader. It reminds me a lot of Roxholm Girl, capable of running sub 29 seconds at Toaster, over 500, but has the stamina to break track records over 6 and 8 bends. But 11 to 10 in a deep competition, I'm not sure I'd be a backer anti-post, for all that he is probably the most likely winner. I'd rather look elsewhere for a bigger price, and I do have one at 100 to 1 that we can throw into the mix later on.
We'll come to that in a bit. And Chris, what price is Mark Wallace to win the Regency this year? What price would we make him?
A good question. Looking at the way the draws worked out with his Guardian, I mean, they're all going to get through, you would think, and he could line up with 4 or 5 in the final. He's been very short. I wouldn't like to put a price on it, but that's for the odds makers, not myself. But yeah, he's got a cracking chance. He's blessed with so many good stays at the moment. It's ridiculous.
He is. And Graham, you've worked in racing offices, and does that Guardian, it completely changes it, doesn't it? Because it gives you such a strong hand then heading into the semi-finals, of course, if you get them all through. Is there a case for that to be taken away in just a 36-dog competition and you're drawn in with what you get?
I think you can make a case for it, to be honest, but I think the rules brought in for the first place is obviously to try and keep all the dogs apart, because trainers will say it's not really fair that all my dogs sort of get drawn out in the same heat early on. But the Guardian obviously does help you the trainers now get avoiding all the dogs getting all drawn out early. I think it probably works fine as it is, but I can see arguments for both ways. But I think if it's not broken at the moment, don't try and fix it. And you could see, like Chris has said, you could see a scenario where 4 or 5 of his dogs get through to the final, but you'd rather the better dogs get them through, meeting at that point rather than in the early rounds getting knocked out, then maybe diluting the competition later on.
Yeah, we could be on for a truly special final in 2 weeks' time, that is for sure. But Michael, you're our betting guy alongside myself. But how do you see it? Even money, 11 to 10 Monge's Wild. Is it short enough, or like we said just off recording, if we get them through, it could be that price in the final if we get all the big guns through?
Yeah, like we said off camera, Joe, it's ultra competitive. You've got Monge's Wild at a shade of odds against, Vadar around 7 to 2. You've got Romeo Empire, who's won 3 on the bounce at 13 to 2. And then the likes of Bombay Nutty at 16s. Well Done 21 that grabbed the hundreds that was briefly available. I'm not sure he managed to get much on, but yeah, that was there for a few minutes, I believe. Monge's Wild, if all the main contenders get to the final, I think, again, you may be a shade of odds against in the final. So I don't think the 11 to 10 appeals at this moment. It's ultra competitive. Hopefully we can find some value elsewhere, Joe.
Yeah, now just down the anti-post market, we're going to go with the sponsors. Well, PGR, we'll go with Ladbrokes and Coral. They've, kindly sponsored the Sussex Cup again. So with them, we've got Monge's Wild even money, 7 to 2 Vega, 11 to 2 Romeo Empire, 12 to 1 Garfinny Blaze, 16 to 1 Bombay Nutty. It's then 25 to 1 Bar, including Born and Parachute, Proper Dangerous, and 28 to 1 All Right Gordy. And 20 to 1 New in Cloud. He's bigger elsewhere, 33s elsewhere, but 20s with the firm. They don't want to take him on. As we go into the anti-post selections, guys, so I think we've all put up around 2 each. I've gone left field. Big time here. I've stayed away from the big guns, trying to get some each-way markets or each-way angles with some of them. But, Michael, let's start with you. Your first selection for the Regency.
Yeah, so at 25 to 1, I've got Proper Dangerous. At 25s, lightly raced, impressed at Central Park recently. I just think that at that price, you've got a little bit of juice on your side. and at a huge price. Rules for Some at 80 to 1. Now, we've all seen what she can do. We all know what she likes to do. She runs alongside a little bit. She's a bit chasey, but she's definitely pacey. So at 80 to 1, first 4 in the final, quarter the odds, small play on Rules for Some for me, Joe.
I've got her. I've put her up as my second one. Well, just purely on the fact that if she wants to get her head down,
yeah,
you can finish in the first 3. If it was first 3 in the semi-final, you'd be all over it and you'd say, perfect. The first 2, I'm not a massive fan of it at all. But she's in a 5-dog race where she can't fail to not finish in the first 3 in a heat. Then you're just hoping for a little bit of luck in your semi-final. So she was my second one at 80 to 1. My first one was All Right Gordy at 28 to 1. Just he's a wide seed. We know what he's like. He just plods on at his own pace out wide. And again, just keep qualifying. If he can do that, then brilliant. He's in with Proper Dangerous, New In Cloud, Comanche, Swift Jarvis, Ivy Hill, Cherry. So it's a good race, but he'll just plug on at his own speed out wide. And if he can just qualify from out there, then 28 to 1, I think looks a fair price. You're getting 7 to 1 for your each way first 4 in the final. So yeah, that'd be my 2. All Right Gordy and Rules for Some. Same as Michael. She'd catch pigeons if she wanted to. So 66 to 1 with the firms, that was more than fair. Matthew, here we go. I know you said 100 to 1 shot. Come on, fire away.
Yeah, 100 to 1 shot would be Lily's Bullet and Belinda Green. I don't think that we've seen the best of her yet. She's a big girl. She's still a bit clumsy. Her form over 4 bends behind the likes of Teddy, Dark Madam in the Brighton Bell was solid. Behind Fabulous Sonique in the Coronation Cup recently. You know, she's a little sister to Bombay Nutty, so it'd be interesting to see the 2 of them going head to head. I don't see any way that she doesn't come out of the first 3 in that first round. And once you get into the semis of these kind of competitions at 100 to 1, it's fair game for everyone. So I thought she was a big price because I'm adamant that we haven't seen the best of her yet. Yeah,
it looks an absolute certainty try-cast whichever way you want to do it in that first heat, doesn't it? With Bombay Nutty and Brett and Molly, Razdaz and Randa and Tata Komodo got it all to do. So you think she'd be in there? Yeah, 100 to 1, that's a more than fair price. That's a good price. She's won over further as well, 750 Romford. So, you know, she'll like it, yeah. There's no questions about that. She's got some good form as well beyond 11th, beyond Swift Jarvis. And as you said, Matt, she's probably better now than she was then anyway. So, yeah, okay, 100 to 1. Who's your next one?
The other one would be, again, at a big price. Taking a similar path to you with a wide runner is Burrows Eclipse. I don't think there are too many dogs in the competition that are going to be capable of leading Burrows Eclipse to the 4th bend. He's going to find there's a lot of dogs in here that are far stronger stayers than him, but he's going to keep getting his draw. I thought he was an interesting one.
Can see that, yeah. He look, if he's clocking 41.70 off the front, he's going to take 3 very good ones in the first round. Well, they're not going to do it. They're not going to catch him, and then it's going to take 2 good ones to catch him to do that time as well. If he's doing that in the semi-final. So yeah, he's in with Garfield Blaze, who we got beat at 12 on last time, which was amazing at Sheffield. He's come back. He's tried well though, 41.75. But a good little race. So yeah, Burrows Eclipse for Matt there, and he was, man. What price was he? He was around 66 to 1 with the firms, 80 to 1. He's also over 66 to 1 with Coral. Who should we come to next? We'll leave Chris for last. So we'll come to Graham next. Graham, here we go.
Myself, Joe, probably similar with yourself. All Right Goldie's my main selection at 28 to 1. Like you say, I don't think he'll do anything flash early doors. He just plods out the traps, probably last round in the first couple of bends. But on the back straight for a second time, I think he'll be making a really solid move at 28 to 1. I just thought as a good each way play, he's 7 to 1 for a place in the final, 28 to 1, called the odds. He's been in good form at Oxford recently as well. He's won his last 3 there. He's run well at Hove before in the past, so he'll get his draw as well. Like you say, it's a competitive race with Proper Dangerous, New In Cloud, Comanche inside, so it's probably the most competitive of the 6 heats. But if he can qualify, then there's no reason why I can't get through to the final at 28 to 1. I just thought it was a solid each way play.
Excellent. Second one?
Born a Parachute. I've gone for a wide in the main selection. I think I'll go for a Rayleigh as well. Born of Parachute is very lightly raced over this sort of distance. It's won at Central Park over the 680 distance there. Ran well at Hove last week, winning second before that. So I just think it's more scope for improvement. You've done a 41.65 last week. It's not a bad time, really, just your second run around the track. Up against Vagar in the heat, but it's got a decent draw on the rails, very lightly raced, and I think there's probably more to come yet still. So 25-1 with 28-1 selection earlier on. I think a couple of each way shots.
Very good stuff from Graham there. So, Chris, help us out here, mate. We've got 4 of the 5 in the market. Mark Wallace. Not one of us has put up Mongeys Wild, Vagar, Romeo Empire, Garfinny Blaze, Bombay Nutty. Talk to me. Help us out. What we got?
I'm going to book the trend and go with Romeo Empire as my main selection. Nothing at the fancy prices that you boys have gone for, but I do like him a lot. Derby quarter-finalist, 4 from Force and stepped up in trip to 6 bends. He's 3 from 3 at Hove. He's got a really nice heat. I mean, his link's 1 to 6 for his heat. So you take it as hopefully a gimme that he goes through, hopefully in first position. And I think there's so much scope for him over 6 bends that if you're taking on the favourite, which I'm inclined to do at those sort of prices, as we've all said, then I think he's third in there, the bet in 11-2 with the sponsors, and Patrick Jansen's in flying form. So yeah, I think he's a solid enough bet with the heat that he's got. I think at that sort of price, I'll be happy to play at that price.
And he's been absolutely faultless over 6 bends so far. 4 from 4, of course, won at Toaster Derby final night. He's 3 from 3 at Hove, albeit he hasn't been in with a lot. But this is probably your typical Thursday night race, isn't it? What he's in with here, so he's gonna beat them, and the price reflects that as well. So yeah, Romeo Empire. I'm glad you've gone with him, mate, because he's a big player. He's only going to get better and better as well, as you said. So your second selection, we're going left field, or?
I was very tempted with Michael's Proper Dangerous. It didn't beat much on its UK debut, but very impressive and was strong to the pickup at Central Park. But I'm going to take a chance. I say take a chance. He's a class dog, but Garfinny Blaze. He may be a little bit past his best on recent evidence, but it was only last month on the calculated times, he went inside his own clock at Central Park. So he's still got the ability there. He didn't have much luck at Sheffield last time, and he's been lightly raced this year, but his record at Hove is fantastic. He's 6 from 7 there, I think. Went and beat him through the Ballyregan Bob. And he won the Cesarewitz as recently as January. So, he's not completely past it. Mark Wallace is an expert at getting slightly older dogs, getting the best out of them and running one deep into the career. So, yeah, I think if he's got a little bit to prove maybe on the recent evidence, but if he's back to his best, and I think he's capable of doing so, he's a real big player in this competition. And I'm prepared to take a chance on him each way. It's sort of 12-1 with the sponsors. He's
trialled well, 41.75 in his trial. And I know they tried him over the marathon previously, didn't they, when it was at Oxford, the TV trophy. Does he look like the kind of dog now? This is open to everyone. Does he look like the kind of dog now that probably needs that little bit of a longer trip? Getting older, his running style's changed maybe. He was disappointed at Sheffield, but he was just plugging on, weren't he, in the end? Does he need that kind of longer demanding trip?
Yeah, I think possibly so. I'd be more confident if they was over the 740 here rather than the 695. But I just think he's a class animal who's still got a bit left to give. And I know it's a deep competition, but for a dog of his class, I think he's maybe a little bit overpriced.
Matt, thoughts, Garfinny Blaze?
Yeah, look, I think it's a super dog. I don't know what to make of that Sheffield run. It isn't a track that suits every dog. It's kind of like with the horses at Chepstow. If a horse runs badly once at Chepstow, you're inclined to put a line through it, and I sort of am that way with Sheffield sometimes. But
you're on the turn a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, I just think, but I do think 740 plus might be what he's looking for these days.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So that's our anti-post market. Just give you quick names again. So I've gone with All Right Gordy, Rules for Some. Michael, we lost you then, so I'll say it for you. I couldn't hear him again. Proper Dangerous and Rules for Some. Chris?
Yeah, Roma Empire and Garfinny Blaze for me.
Graham?
All Right Gordy and Born of Parachute.
And Matt?
Burrows Eclipse and Lily's Bullet.
There we go. Just a quick word on Vagar. We haven't mentioned her before we go into the heat. We'll come to her in there, of course, we will. She's in at 7-2. Again, she's been absolutely faultless over 6 bends recently. She was a brilliant winner of the staying competition at Toaster on Derby final night. Graham, she could be absolutely anything still going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way she ran at Tosa recently on Derby Farm, that's just sensational. Even the break in the semi-finals with it beating Bert and Molly, you're expecting a sprinter to do that sort of break, which came out sort of 2 or 3 lengths clear from the traps. It was like a wow. It was a wow situation, and she just drew clear from a quality field. And then in the final again, lit early doors, and this is just an incredible run so far. So she's very much unexposed over this sort of distance still. If she gets to the front again, it could be game on with Mongies Wild if they both reach the final stage.
Absolutely right. So let's dive into the heats, boys, and we'll just open this up. So just talk as and when you see fit. So heat 1, we've got trap 1, Brett and Molly. Trap 2, Razzle Dazzle Amanda. Trap 3 is Lily's Bullet. Trap 4, Bombay Nutty. Nothing in trap 5, and Tata Komodo in trap 6. 8 to 11, Bombay Nutty with a sponsor. 6 to 4, Brett and Molly. 7 to 1, Lily's Bullet. 16 to 1, Tata Komodo. 33 to 1, Razzle Dazzle Amanda. I'll start with you, Matt, because we've already spoke about Lily's Bullet. The floor is yours. How do we see it? I see the TriCast looks a certainty. Just which way?
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? I would probably just about side with Bombay Nutty in this one. I think he's really got the bit between his teeth of late. I think he can clear his little sister inside him. Brett and Molly's been running incredibly well as well recently, especially at Toaster. So she'll chase him home, and Lily's Bullet will grab third, qualify.
I know she clocked 42.79 on Sunday. She took forever and a day to get to Bank of Granda on Sunday afternoon. I wasn't too convinced with her on Sunday, but look, she's faultless around there. Of course she is. I just thought that she might have got to him a little bit quicker. Thoughts, people?
Yeah, I was just going to say, she's very ultra consistent, isn't she, Brett and Molly? I agree with you. Thought she might have got to Bank of Granda quite quickly, but she runs a race every time, it seems. So she's certainly going to be there or thereabouts at the finish. I'd probably with Bombay Nutty myself, just think he might get first run. But yeah, Brett and Molly will win a race as she always does.
Graham?
I think the 7 to 1, to be honest, Lily's Bullet, it's a huge price. You see almost like a back each way, that sort of price. You're getting nearly 2 to 1 just to get first or second. And I can see a scenario where she can get a clearer run. You go through her previous form at Hove, and she's always getting trouble here and there around the bends. And if there's a chance of Bombay Nutty going off in front and Brett and Molly in front of her as well, there's only really Razzle Dazzle Amanda to clear early doors. And if she gets past her, I think she can set off after the leading 2. And like I say, if she does things right around the final bends, I think she can definitely come in the first 2. So 7 to 1 for me would be a huge price for the heat success.
See, I think someone like Razzle Dazzle Amanda coming away would be a good thing for her. Maybe spoiling the party for a Brett and Molly early on. Bombay, he's probably got more four-bend, like middle speed that will get him to the front. But then maybe giving chase there. Right, heat 2. We've got Romeo Empire, 1 to 6, 8 to 1 rules for some, 8 to 1 Soul Choice, 12 to 1 All Right Irene, and 25 to 1 Kate's Bar. Soul Choice in 1, Empire in 2, rules for some in 3, All Right Irene in 4, and Kate's Bar in trap 6, nothing in 5. This just looks straightforward, doesn't it, guys? You're just going to pop out, he'll lead before the winning line. Worst case, and he just wins, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. You can't really go against him, can you, really, on previous form at Toaster? And around here at Hove, 3 from 3, you can't go against him, really. You're just looking for maybe a full cast place or, again, a tri-cast sort of a bet. But for a win purpose, it's just not really. It looks like a non-event, basically, out and gone.
I'd say it looks an absolute certainty forecast again. 2 to beat 3.
Yeah. The rules for some was five lengths behind Romeo Empire on Saturday, wasn't he? Sorry. So yeah, that looks like the obvious one to chase her on. But it, 1 to 6, it looks like an absolute gimme, and that was part of the reason for the anti-post selection. It looks like an absolute penalty kick.
Michael, Matt, is there anything that you can throw in there that tries to get him beat, or is it just looking for forecast here?
Now, Romeo Empire will make all, rules for some will chase for second. I think it's as simple as that, Joe.
Yeah. Same, Matt.
Yeah, I think that's the way that everyone reads it. I'm interested to see whether Soul Choice stays stepped up to 6 pence for the first time, but it's a tough ask for him taking on the likes of Romeo Empire.
So Regency Heat 3, Mongies Wild 6 on, Torona Bella 6 to 1, 7 to 1 Droopy's Invent, 16 to 1 Miss Sid, and 50 to 1 is Best Money. Now, Mongies Wild. Again, he wins. And what second? I'll be with Torona Bella in second. I think Ledger finalist. She made the Cesarewitch final as well. I'm not sure. She made the Balleriga Bob final and George Curtis at Hove over 740. So she likes to track. But Mongi's Wild wins, of course he does. I think she'll follow him in second. As long as Droopy's Invent just doesn't pin her to the rail, he will be moving left. He's desperate for one. So yeah, Mongi's Wild for me to beat Torona Bella.
Yeah. I'll argue with that.
Yeah, same for me. I think Torona Bella leads, Mongi's Wild comes and picks her up, and that's the 1-2.
Matt, anything to add?
No, I think Mongi's Wild beats Torona Bella. I think it's I was impressed with Bella at the weekend. Stepped back up to sixpence for the first time since the turn of the year. I think it was actually the George Curtis Ballerigan Bobs the last time she ran over 6 head of last weekend. Very impressive at Central Park, but I don't think she quite has enough to beat Mongi's Wild, but does look the obvious forecast.
They won't see which way he went if he gets a clearing, will they? He's just a freak. He's an absolute freak. Over 6 bends and 8 bends, he's unbeatable. We'll see if he gets to find them and get them all through. So Heat 4, interesting. This probably the most open. New in Cloud in a 2-1, Comanche 3-1, Proper Dangerous 7-2, 4-1 All Right Gordy, 6-1 Swift Jarvis, and 12-1 Ivy Hill Cherry. So roll any of these out at your peril. Ivy Hill Cherry 1, Swift Jarvis 2, Comanche 3, New in Cloud 4, Proper Dangerous 5, and All Right Gordy 6. Comanche 41-40 in a trial. Where's that come from?
Can't do it in a race, so obviously dogs can do the flashy trials in solo trials and 2-dog trials, but it's a bit like a Chelm's Bear. You can do a really flashy time over 4 bends in a solo trial. You put other dogs in the race that can't always do it, can you? So it could be a similar situation to Comanche.
Yeah, thoughts on the Heat, guys? It's wide open. I just want All Right Gordy through, but very interesting, Proper Dangerous.
Yeah, I think so. I mentioned that I know Michael's tipped up, and I was very tempted to do so. It was an impressive debut, and UK debut. Said not beating too much, but the way that she did it, and the way she kept on to the pickup, you'd hope if she got clear here, she might not be easy to reel in. But it's a very good race. But I think the 7-2 about Proper Dangerous is fair enough with the sponsors, and I think she'll lead, and then she can take them from the front. So. Yeah, 7-2 for Proper Dangerous. Even though it's a wide open heat, I think that'll be the way in for me.
Proper Dangerous, Matt. Now, it wouldn't be the usual step up in trip from 4 bends to a 6.95 at Hove in the Regency. They must be confident that she stays because, it's a big ask to do that. They're going to be confident she stays, but it's a demanding trip for her to go straight over.
It is. It's such a tricky heat, this, isn't it? You don't have any of the top 5 in the betting, yet somehow it's the most difficult heat. It's incredibly tricky. I was hugely impressed with that Central Park. As Chris said, she didn't beat much, but on a debut at the tracks, did 16.68 calculated in the sprint. That's fair going if you think you've got a dog that stays. 309 sectional over 492, 28.81 calculated. Oh, if she comes away, this is going to be very interesting. I would love to have seen her have a look at the track, but then again, there's every chance she wouldn't be 7-2. So I would take a chance on her staying because it's such a competitive race that there might be a little bit of trouble behind. And hope for the best. Hope she gets away. And I would say probably All Right Gordy takes advantage of any potential crowding on the inside to grab second. Who gets third? I have absolutely no idea.
I'll throw All Right Gordy into qualify. I'm going to be Swift Jarvis purely that this is a race that he could just win if he wanted to. Proper Dangerous could give him something to get after, and he could chase Ivy Hill Cherry on the inside, give him something to get after. Beat him a short head last time out. So yeah, I'll be with Swift Jarvis at a price in a really competitive race. Right, we haven't got long left, so we'll Heat 5, Born a Parachute in 1. Crafty Prospero in 2, Our Smasher 3, Barbie Bullet 4, Vagar in 5, and Dazzle Rolex in 6. Good to have Dazzle Rolex. About 2-7 Vagar, 5-1 Born a Parachute, 8-1 Crafty Prospero, 16-1 Smasher, 20-1 Barbie Bullet, 20-1 Dazzle Rolex. Quick thoughts, guys. Vagar just pops out and makes all.
Yeah, I think so. I think we said earlier on, good early pace, ran really well at Toaster. lightning breaks the total over the 6 bends there. Moved well enough in a 5-1-5 trial last week, but yeah, you think he should be out and gone, really. It's a case for Susan qualified behind. I've tipped up Born a Parachute. Very good run last week, 41.65 win by 2 3/4 lengths. Very much unexposed over this sort of distance, so I think he could be one to chase Vega home. But I'd like to see Dazzle Rolex run a decent race as well, because I know he's a Cat 1 winner from 2024. He's been off a while, but you know he deserves. Ricky's obviously thought he deserves a chance back in his field again. He might not have the quality anymore, but it's good to see him back.
Yeah, thoughts, guys? Vega, she just wins, right?
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with Graham there. Yet another stayer to the embarrassment of riches of Mark Wallace, who's got yet another top class stayer in the making here. Looks like, and yeah, it's hard to see her getting beat. I'm probably with Graham to be Born a Parachute to chase her home.
Matt, quickly.
Yeah, fairly boring, but yeah, Vega to beat Born a Parachute.
I'll be Vega our smasher, getting better now with each run. I know she hasn't done much recently, but I'll be Vega our smasher. We'll quickly go through Heat 6. Minstrel 6 in 1, Art Riddler 2, Garfany Blaze 3, Gothic Kitty 4, Dazzle Twinkle Star in 5, and Burrows Eclipse in Trap 6. 4-7, Garfany Blaze, 4-1 Art Riddler, 7-1 Burrows Eclipse, 7-1 Gothic Kitty, 10-1 Minstrel 6, and 33-1 Dazzle Twinkle Star. She could be a flying ointment here, Gothic Kitty, but I don't think she can lead Burrows Eclipse, so that's probably going to be difficult for her. 4-7 Garfany Blaze. 3-4 weeks ago, you say that looks a big price, aren't we?
Yeah, I think although I've put him up anti-post, I wouldn't be taking the odds on about him winning this race first run back. Just qualifying is the name of the game, I think, with it, especially after a month off, best part of. So yeah, I probably at the prices Burrow Eclipse, I think leads out wide. Give them all something to aim at. 7-1's fair enough with the sponsors.
Matt, Graham, quickly, we've got a minute left.
I think Riddler could possibly sound quite well. He stays on recent forms, beat Swift Jarvis recently over 6.95. Stays on well on later stages. Again, if you get a clear run around the first bend, it could be there and thereabouts around the final bends. It could go well, quite a decent price.
Matt, go on. You won't have Michael interrupt you now. Go on, fire away.
Well, you never know. Yeah, Burrows Eclipse for me, 7-1. I think it's a very fair each way price to lead around the outside and hopefully keep up the gallop.
There we go. There are the thoughts of everyone, apart from Michael Smythe for the Regency Heats. We're going to try and get him back now for the Sisters Cup. We take a break. Come back to us.